Uh-oh, yet another apparent scandal is brewing at the Kitchener, Ontario-based Waterloo Catholic District School Board. This is a fascinating school board given that it is essentially divided 50-50 by those trustees who want to do the right thing in the name of educating children versus woke Catholic in name-only trustees who have essentially infiltrated the board to further their own so-called progressive agendas. It's for the kids, you understand. We first became aware of Waterloo's Catholic School Board last year when trustee Wendy Ashby made international headlines for all the wrong reasons. Ashby was that kook who stated the following on social media, quote, "The most dangerous creature on the planet is the white Christian male. They're a threat to anyone who is not them." Can you imagine a Catholic school board trustee who appears to be Caucasian herself promotes a statement that is equal parts racist, sexist, and anti-Christian? And creature? Are you kidding me? But under the so-called leadership of Tyrone Dowling, the board's director of education, the damage control regarding Ashby's outrageous slurs boiled down to a two-pronged strategy. First, adopt a media relations strategy seemingly created by Sergeant Schultz.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
Alas, when the Ashby controversy did not go away, Dowling employed the second prong of the board's communications scheme, which is to say he banned independent media outlets such as Rebel News and Campaign Life Coalition from attending school board meetings under threat of trespass. Our crime? Asking impolite questions.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Yes, shame indeed. You know, I think if this school board were to adopt an animal as its symbol, it would be the turtle. Like a turtle, whenever controversy emerges, the WCDSB retracts into a shell, hoping things will blow over. That's how Dowling and the board's chair, Bob Sikora, operate when it comes to crisis management. Well, with Ashby, things did not settle down, nor did they go away. Justifiably angry parents protested at the school board's headquarters, and we dispatched our Jumbotron billboard truck to send a message as well. Finally, for a change, Ashby did the right thing. Under mounting public pressure, she resigned. This vapid and vacuous social justice weirdo was replaced by Conrad Stanley. Conrad is a good man who actually subscribes to Catholic values. Imagine that. Somebody working at a Catholic school board who is actually on Team Catholicism. Shockers. Now, if you can believe it, after the Wendy Ashby fiasco, the ringleaders at the board pulled a fast one by trying to quietly sneak through a budget line item of a whopping $300,000 for, LGBTQ, etc., books and other propaganda materials for classrooms. The moolah was going to be taken out of the board's reserve fund. This little nest egg is typically meant for emergencies, such as unexpected repairs at schools. But apparently, through the woke lens of Tyrone Dowling, a lack of spirit unicorn material on library shelves classifies as an emergency? Anyway, some other trustees who are, driven by Catholic values and fiscal prudence got wind of these shenanigans, and this Rainbow Mafia book bonanza was thankfully canceled. But talk about chutzpah on the behalf of Dowling and his minions. These so-called progressive educrats seem to believe that the school board is a paragon of truth and virtue, ignoring parents and shutting down freedom of the press. And yet, Rebel News was recently tipped off that there's a new scandal emerging here, a major conflict of interest issue at the board. Here are the allegations from my sources. Kathy Doherty Masters was involved in hiring someone called Fred Masters. Fred Masters runs a company called Masters Money Management, Inc. Mr. Masters was rewarded with the following 3 contracts. One was for $2,200 in exchange for 100 autographed copies of his book, Lessons on Mastering Money. Secondly, Mr. Masters was given a speaker's fee of $1,400. And finally, last May, he was paid a stipend of $800 to conduct a financial wellness presentation. Well, that's all very well and good, and I'm sure Fred Masters is a fine money manager and author, except for one thing. It's that similar sounding surname. Is there any connection between Fred Masters and Kathy Doherty Masters? Oh, you better believe there is. They're husband and wife. And that puts them in an inherent conflict of interest. Kathy Doherty Masters should have recused herself from approving agenda minutes, especially in regard to financial decisions made by the board that would directly enrich her hubby. But she did not recuse herself. She made sure taxpayer dollars went to her husband. You know, I haven't read Lessons on Mastering Money, but I kind of have an idea that maybe one of those lessons might be this: ensure that you have a relative in government who has access to taxpayer funds so that this money can, how shall I put it, be redirected to the family bank account. Yeah, nice. By the way, in the department of plenty of blame to go around here, I need to point out that one of the trustees who approved this shady deal was Tracy Weiler. She appears to be a personal friend of Kathy's. I wonder if Tracy has buyer's remorse now that these conflict of allegations are now surfacing. I guess there's something to that old adage, separating business from pleasure. Also, I was recently made aware of someone by the name of Brendan Masters. Brendan works at 2 Catholic schools in the region, Resurrection and St. Louis. Say, do you think this particular Mr. Masters has any connection with the aforementioned Fred Masters and Kathy Doherty Masters? Is there salt water in the Pacific Ocean? Yes, Brendan is the son of Fred and Kathy. Now, it's not inappropriate that he works at schools in the region, even if Mama is a trustee. What is offside, however, is that Kathy has to recuse herself in voting on budget items or union negotiations. It's that conflict of interest thingy again, you see. It gets worse. My sources tell me that Kathy, for some inexplicable reason, has the highest mileage claim expenses of all Catholic board trustees. Last year, she put in a claim for some $1,800 in gas money, which is quite odd because she only lives about 10 kilometers from the school board's headquarters, and she was out of the country for about 2 months last year. Sources tell me her mileage claims are about double what they really should be. Gee, was this another financial enrichment tip Kathy plucked from her hubby's whiz-bang Lessons on Mastering Money? Who knows, but I'll say one thing. The board has to get its ethics commissioner on this case. Oh, except for one not so insignificant hitch, folks. There is no ethics commissioner employed at this school board. How convenient, especially for those using the board's budget for personal enrichment purposes, wouldn't you say? Now, over the past several days, I have reached out to all parties involved. I especially wanted to hear from Kathy Doherty Masters and Tyrone Dowling and Bob Sikora and Tracy Weiler about these numerous conflict of interest allegations and what appears to be a padded mileage expense account. And par for the course, the Waterloo Catholic District School Board has gone into full turtle mode. Nobody there has even had the decency to acknowledge my requests for comment. And I can't pay a house call to the board's head office. They'll have me arrested for trespassing. It's the Wendy Ashby scandal all over again, isn't it? And apparently these educrats, they never learn. I also reached out to Fred Masters twice, leaving him a voicemail message. So far, radio silence. Then again, I was calling long distance. Maybe one of the tips in lessons on mastering money is don't get dinged with long distance charges. But now that this information is public, maybe this will lead to another woeful wokester stepping down. I'm looking at you, Kathy Doherty Masters. And I'm sure all this dirty laundry being aired in public must be very stressful for you. But I have an idea. Wendy Ashby, incredibly, still works as a mental health counselor at Trillium Health. Oh, this just in, folks. Wendy Ashby has changed her name. She is now known as Wendy Jacqueline. I wonder why that would be. Anyway, Kathy, maybe you can book a few shrink sessions with Dr. Ashby/Jacqueline. And how's this for an idea? Maybe you can arrange a quid pro quo deal with your former crazed colleague, which is to say, Wendy gives you psychiatric advice and you compensate her with signed copies of hubby's financial advice books. And hey, maybe afterwards, Kathy, you and Fred Masters can co-write a sequel to Lessons on Mastering Money. I've already got the perfect title for you. Masters of Disaster.